Cameron Crowther, Executive Director of Student Professional Development, will introduce the students. President Wilcox is asked to speak. After they and President Wilcox have concluded, Justin Wiseman will offer our benediction.
There's probably a few of you that I haven't met yet. My name's Cameron Crowther. I'm the Director of Student Professional Development, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to introduce you to a few of our students today. But before that, I just kind of want to introduce you to each other. Most of you probably know one another, but this is the start of a new semester and the first semester for several of our students. So amongst you are some first-time freshmen and some students who have been away for a while. This is their first time back, and that's kind of the reason why we've asked some of our students to speak today, to both remind and inform those of you who are here about some of the great things that Southern Virginia University has to offer. So we've asked some of our, I want to say experienced, but that makes them sound old, but some of our recently graduated students, some of our seniors, and just some individuals who have had some experience here on campus that are going to tell you a little bit about who we are and why this place matters to them. Sort of a quasi-orientation for some, a welcome back for others, and just good information for the rest of you. These are great individuals who have had a wide variety of experiences. Some have started their education here, left, repented, and come back. Some have recently graduated and have had great experiences here and are going to talk to you about this, how Southern Virginia University has prepared them to move on. And others are some of your student leaders, those who have dedicated this year and other years to making Southern Virginia University great for all of you. So great perspectives. Please pay attention to what they have to say. They care about you, they care about the school, and they have some great information to share. They will come up. I won't introduce them individually. I'll tell you the order that they'll speak, and just as the person that finishes, if you're next, just come on up and go ahead and get started. So you'll first hear from Ammon Milligan, then Meghan Roddy, Brennan Alfred, Harrison Stokes, Jerica Johnson, Cody Rogers, and Jessica Brotherson.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Like you said, my name's Ammon Milligan. Well, to start off, the reason I love SVU is part of the reason why I came to SVU. And that's because 3 years ago today, I started looking at colleges. And I was an international student over in Thailand. And when doing applications, it was really hard. And so I called the universities, several of the universities, and none of them answered except for Southern Virginia University. And then they helped me not only finish my application for here, but for all of my applications for all the colleges I wanted to go to. And so they went above and beyond what I thought was the call of duty, and that is why I decided to try it out, test the limits, test the waters here, because from the start, they showed that they cared. Not about me as a student, but about everyone. And I was like, a school that can show this much love for a no one, because they didn't even know me yet, was something I wanted to try out and I wanted to be part of. And so they already became part of my family. And I got on campus, and I was blown away by the people here. They are the sweetest, the kindest, and I love them. And it was like first day orientation, I was like, I want to be here forever. And hopefully it's not there yet, you know, I'm only 3 years in, but it's been a great blessing for me. It's been my home, and I love it more than actually going home, as a lot of people know. So I came to SVU, and I love it because you guys are my family, and this is my home, and I want to thank you guys for that. So thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Meghan Roddy. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a junior. For the past 6 years, I've lived in Buena Vista with my family while my dad worked at the school and my older siblings attended SVU. I've been able to see the incredible growth of the university, and I'm excited to see the continued growth that they will have. While I was in high school, starting my junior year, I started taking classes at SVU. I excelled in my classes, and I thought I was a genius, but I realized, after looking back, it had little to do with me and much to do with the resources and the opportunities that SVU had to offer. As my time in high school came to a close, so did my time in Buena Vista. After I graduated, I moved out west and I went to Utah State. Being a freshman and being on my own for the first time, I do not regret my choice to go to Utah State. It was great. It was filled with once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, strong friendships, and a great social scene. It was everything I thought college was supposed to be like. However, at the end of my year at Utah State, I realized that it was lacking what I needed academically, and I had not grown as a student or even as a person. It became clear to me that my time at Utah State was up, and it was time for me to return home. This was not an easily made decision. In fact, I didn't even realize I wanted to leave until the middle of my spring semester and the exams week, actually. But sure enough, in the middle of an empty parking garage, after crying and praying and talking to my mom on the phone, I had realized, and I received my answer, that I could not deny SVU was where I'm supposed to be. I cannot explain the joy and happiness I have at SVU. I have come home, and now this is home for all of us. There are resources and guidance here given to all of us so we can grow and help one another. The academics at SVU are unparalleled to any other academic settings I have been in. Our professors care about us and they love us, and they so clearly want to see us succeed. The faculty, staff, and students at SVU are some of the best people you'll ever meet. I encourage you all to make the most of your time here and to make SVU your home.
Good morning. I'm Brennan Alfred. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I just graduated from SVU, and I have a gap here right now, so I'm working here at the school. I'll never forget when during my freshman year, I went to a basketball game. It was an early scrimmage. We weren't NCAA yet, so I think we were allowed to have scrimmages earlier. And so I was sitting in the stands, just kind of, trying to lay low. And the tennis coach spotted me and walked up and called me out of the stands. And he was like, "Hey, you're gonna play tennis?" And I was just surprised he even knew my name. And he convinced me to play, and I'm so glad that he did. The tennis team has been awesome. And last year, we were the first team of the school to make it to the semifinals of an NCAA tournament. Great things are happening here. Yeah, great things are happening here. And that's been my experience here at SVU over and over again. Teachers know us. They convince us to take the opportunities that are available, and those experiences help us grow and, more importantly, pad our resumes. I applied to dental school, and I was blessed to be accepted, to have 6 interviews and be accepted to 4, one just yesterday. And I guarantee you, thank you. I plan on going to VCU, and I guarantee you that no other student at VCU who applied had such a personal letter of recommendation from the head of the pre-med department. So that's SVU. That's the difference that's made for me, and I'm so grateful. I also met my wonderful fiance, Rachel, here. I've had the most wonderful experiences here, and I could have gone a lot of places for school, but no place would have prepared me for the future like SVU. So thank you.
Good morning. My name is Harrison Stokes. I'm a senior here at SVU. I'll be graduating this May, or this April. The last few hours that I've been thinking about my experience here at SVU, one word has come to mind, and I thought a little bit about growth. I remember very clearly the first day of freshman year stepping out of my family's 15-passenger van and packing out my things into the 3rd floor of main hall where my dorm was. And when I look back on that day, I think about how much growth has taken place, and I'm so grateful for my experiences here. Here was the first place that I was away from my family and learned to be responsible for myself. It was here where I truly learned how to study and how to take seriously my academic work. It was here that I got my very first job. It was here that I first learned what loneliness is and how to prepare, where to turn when I am lonely. And it is also here that I found out what a true friend really is and how to be a true friend. It was here that I grew to the point where I felt prepared to serve a full-time mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And as good as all of those things are, and as grateful I am for all those experiences, what I'm most grateful for is also kind of like Brennan. It's here that I met the woman that I would later marry in the temple, and that's been a great blessing. So As I thought about these great experiences, I thought about who I have to be grateful for, and kind of like everybody said, I think about the teachers who spent so much time after they're supposed to be here to help me to understand homework and problems. I think about the other professors who've sat long hours in their offices helping me to understand what my options are after graduation. I've thought about the close proximity that the university has to the Institute program and to the YSA, to the church here, and the opportunities that I've had to serve and learn more about the gospel and build my spiritual life. And of all of these things, I think the best is that SVU is a place where people aren't just led here because of academic aspirations, but people are led here because they know it's a place that they can grow and become better leader servants and better people. And I'm very grateful for that.
So before coming here, I was actually accepted to a pre-med program in Boston at a university there. And I thought my entire life that that's what I had wanted to do. My entire college career, that's what I had been working up to until after my mission. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that that wasn't it. So I came in, I visited my sister who was attending school here, and I fell in love with it. And I knew that I had to be a part of it. And so when I first came here, I have really bad social anxiety. So if you know me and I don't really talk to you on campus, I'm sorry. It's not you, it really is me. It really, truly is. I'm so sorry. So when I first came here, I had my sister, and it was great, and I loved it because she and we did stuff together. But we didn't do anything with the university. Like, we'd go out on adventures, we'd go out and find our own things to do. The next semester, which was spring, she graduated, and we had branched out and met some more people, and we would go to games and we would go to some activities, but not really. My second year here, she was gone, and I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out because I didn't have an automatic friend. So I decided to get involved, which was way out of my comfort zone. I joined the executive council. I also joined the school's improv troupe Shenanigans, which is not like me at all. And I really just tried to go out and to make friends and to make the most of of my experience here at school. And I love what everybody has said. They've said words like growth and home and family. And that's what this place has become. I loved a larger university because it meant that I didn't have to be as involved. I could kind of fly under the radar. But here, the growth that I have experienced and the things that I have done, I would have never had at another university. And so I'm not gonna lie, there are gonna be times when it's hard, and there are going to be times when you wish that you weren't here, that maybe you were somewhere else, closer to family, with your other friends. But honestly, this is a place where you're supposed to be. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be here. And so I just encourage you to do your best to be involved, to do your best to reach out and to make friends, even though it's scary, even though it's difficult, because that's really what is going to help you and encourage you to be the best person that you could be.
My name's Cody Rogers. I'm a senior from Stuart, Florida, and I'll be graduating in May. Growing up, I didn't come from much, living in Florida. Both of my parents were high school dropouts, and we lived kind of not an impoverished life, but we didn't have much. Growing up, I never really thought I could be good at college. Many of my professors or teachers told me that college is not for me, and education is probably not my best route. And I always wanted it to be more than that. As I was looking into colleges, my wife now, Reva, was attending here, and she told me about Southern Virginia University. And I love the fact that I could have the small class sizes here because I thought that would be the best way for me to learn. So I came here, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the atmosphere. I fell in love with the opportunity I had to be the first person in my family to attend college and to become something. And I knew that as I got here, the SVU was the best place for me to accomplish that. There were many opportunities here for us to get involved, and I have never been involved in anything in my life. Well, I've been involved in things, but never anything in school. I wasn't in student government. I was an athlete, but I blew out my knee twice, so I didn't think that I could do sports. So when I got here, I was just trying to do everything. I tried to take different classes that I knew nothing about. I took theater classes. I joined the choir. It was my sophomore year that I applied for a position in residence life that I truly found my passion, and that is where I've decided to take my career. And I would have never known that if I had not come to SVU. I would have not known that that's what I wanted to do with my life, and that has become that I've become so passionate about. Because at most universities, those positions aren't available to students and to different things, but because of SVU and the smallness, we're able to have those opportunities, and I encourage you to take advantage of those opportunities. Yeah, I was afraid. I had never run a dorm of 200 girls before, and it's fearful, some of the opportunities that you have, but you will never grow and you will never learn as much as you will as you take advantage of those opportunities. It's not where you come from. It's not how much you had when you were growing up, but what opportunities you take in the life that you choose to lead. And I know the SVU provided that for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jessica Brotherson, and I am from here. I'm a local. Words cannot accurately describe how much SVU means to me. And I feel like that's what all of us have felt as we've come here, just how much this university has changed us. And so I attended SVU my freshman year, and then went on my mission, and got back from my mission, and really felt that it was the right thing to do, and wanted to go attend BYU. So I went to BYU last year, and I loved it, and it was a great experience. But honestly, the whole time I was there, I just missed SVU, and I just missed here. And I have found it so hard to articulate, like, what is it that I missed, right? What is it about SVU that I missed? And I think that what I missed is how I felt here. And that's different than anywhere else I've been. Here, I feel like I flourish and I thrive, and I not only survive college, but I get to experience and learn and grow. And I feel acceptance by my peers and my mentors, and that is one of the things that SVU has taught me, is like how to just be myself and like be me, and I'm cool, and like I just just an appreciation for differences, right? And that people are different, and that is beautiful. And I think that comes because we're a small environment and we are a family and we accept each other like family. And I had notes. And just like other people have mentioned, just the mentoring of the professors, they just inspire me, and I feel their love. And the same with my friends. I just admire them so much, the people around me here. And okay, the last point that I wanted to make of what I feel at SVU is, okay, this sounds kind of weird, but this past semester at SVU, since I've been back, has just been like a semester of like healing for me, for my soul. And it was just, I loved BYU, I really did, but it was really hard. I had a hard year at BYU. And coming back and just being in this nurturing environment when I felt like I flourished and thrived and felt the love of people around me and found wonderful friends that share my interests and passions, I have just felt filled and loved and nurtured and healed by being here. And I know that's true. And so the interesting thing is, like, these experiences that I've shared and that everyone has shared, it's just interesting because they're like, we have unique experiences that are special to us, but our experience at SVU isn't unique, right? So like, this is an experience that a lot of us have coming here and that I've heard from a lot of people, right? The personal education, the mentoring of teachers, it's something unique that SVU offers its students. So anyway, I'm so grateful for this university.
Now, I think you're all sort of feeling relaxed, listening to the people who were asked to speak. I think there's one more of you who needs to speak who hasn't been asked yet. So get ready. I think this needs to be a very shy person who's very tiring and is uncomfortable in front of people. So I'm thinking about Caleb. Come on up here, Caleb. 2 minutes. Yeah.
I thought I was safe. He said they asked everyone like a couple hours ago, and I was like, oh, good. I wasn't asked a couple hours ago. I'm good. SVU is so good, I can't seem to get away from it. I'm a second-year senior, and I have one more year to go after this one, because sometimes you decide to add things to your education. One of the greatest things I think I've enjoyed about being at SVU is just the opportunity that you have. I'm a theater major and an English major, but first I was a theater major. And coming here as a freshman, I was able to audition for plays and just get right up there on the stage, which isn't possible at a larger university. The amount of experience I've been able to have, and also just the education that I've been able to get, the classes I'm able to take. For example, this semester I'm enrolled in Art History 2, which does nothing for my degrees, but it's a class that I've always wanted to take, and so I am, because I can. And that's what you can do at SVU. You can take classes because you want to take them. And all of the professors are here for you individually, and they're here just like all of the others have said. It's just a fabulous environment where you can learn and go have lunch with your professors and have a random conversation about metaphysics as you eat burgers at JJ's Meat Shack, or, whatever it is. And it's something that isn't available. SVU really is unique and the only place like it in the world, and I think it's the place to be. So y'all made the right choice. Thank you.
Caleb is preparing for his role as Brigham Young in a future event. So it's January, right? Do you know why January is called January? You see, you can come up here and do this whole forum. It is Janus. It is the Roman god looking back and looking forward. And January, because January is a time that we sort of think about what happened before and we look ahead. It's also the time of the January blahs. When everybody's been through Christmas, everybody's been through holidays, weather's not spectacular, and it's easy to kind of feel a little bit down. My wife Diane's great-great-grandfather was leaving on a wagon when he was deathly ill from his family to go serve a mission. And his missionary companion was Brigham Young, Caleb's future part. So this is Heber C. Kimball and Brigham Young, and they're leaving their families to go serve a mission. They really don't know exactly where they're going to be. They're sick. Their families are sick. They're doing it because they believe it's what they should do. And Heber said, this is pretty tough. This is pretty tough. He's thinking about our families back in the cabin. He said, let's stand up and give him a cheer. So they stood up, took off their hats, waved their arms in the air, and said, hurrah for Israel. Now, the principle of that is that we pretty much decide, as Abraham Lincoln said, how happy we're going to be. And Heber C. Kimball and Brigham Young decided they were going to be happy, even though it was a very difficult time. Now, we're not all sick, and we're not living in destitution in a cabin on the frontier. But it is January. So let's decide to be happy. So January is also the month of the inauguration. We've heard plenty of stuff about that, and we're going to hear a lot more about that. But it's also the month of Martin Luther King Day. We don't hear much about that. We don't hear much about what it's really about. We don't hear much about Dr. King and who he was and what he taught. This was a great man. We're going to hear more about him and about what he was involved in the course of this month in our forums. He taught great principles, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So there are three things. First thing is January. Second thing is this year, 2017. Now, last year here at the school, we had the highest enrollment we've ever had. We had the highest student retention level we've ever had. We had the highest student placement at graduate schools, including dental schools, graduate schools, and in great new jobs, like Will has just come back from starting into something very special down in South Carolina. Great new jobs, great career opportunities in graduate school and work. 93%, which is basically everybody, essentially everybody who wants a job, has one. That's because of the great faculty. It's because of the great work of all of us, all of you as students. And Cameron here had a little to do with it too. And if any of you don't know him, you need to know him. This is like the key to your future. So that's last year. That's last year. This year is going to be better. This is the largest enrollment spring semester we've ever had. Fall is going to be substantially more. The school is growing. People are contributing. More people contributed to helping build the school and support the school in the last 6 weeks than ever before in the close of a year. Dr. Dransfield is sort of leading a charge, working with the faculty and helping us create new concentrations. Concentrations are areas of study that are targeted to specific job opportunities or specific graduate school opportunities. We've had some, like pre-med. We're going to have a lot more. And they'll be, in many cases, combining a couple of different disciplines. For instance, Dr. Crawford said, why don't we combine art, history, and appreciation and sort of our full gamut of intense liberal art appreciation and analysis with management and create a museum management concentration. We're working with some very accomplished people, one of whom has visited the university, who was the chief accounting officer at Google, another little company out in California, who ran the IPO for Google, and he wants to be an advisor to us to help build a concentration a pre-MAC, pre-Master of Accountancy, accounting program combined with management here at school, another concentration. The point of this is these are ways that we can get even better at targeting specific opportunities when it comes time to leave. Because the point of what we're doing here is to get better and to be better and to have more opportunities and create more influence for good people, for you good people, because you can make the world better. We're also, this year, we are going to have this new partnership with Icon Fitness, which is the world's largest exercise and fitness equipment company. And we're going to put one of their national student support or customer support, but will also support students. Customer support, professional customer support centers here. So there will be great jobs for essentially anybody who wants one. In addition to all the other things that there already are to do here, but that will be good opportunities, and I believe it probably will raise the bar for all the jobs around here. And you know, we're working toward a partnership that probably will be with Apple Computer, where we're with I see Dr. Whitehurst down here. We were out in California last month and met with the people at Apple. And they're good people. They're very interested in education, and they have an interest in making this work. We have an interest in making it work, and it probably is what we will do. We're just in sort of final negotiation. But what this would mean is that we would have a mobile technology, digital technology platform that would be the basis for communication. It would enable us to have new tools, technology tools, for supporting the great things that happen between faculty members and students, and between students and students, and between faculty members and faculty members. And this can go to all sorts of communication. It could even include, well, you can imagine lots of things that could be done. But this is an opportunity to leapfrog and go to the head of the technology in education world to support the personalized person-to-person education that's the heart of what we do here at the university. So this isn't in any way replacing faculty-student relationships. This is enhancing it. These are new tools that will give us opportunities to migrate things, and it'll facilitate a lot of things and solve a lot of problems that everybody has to deal with. And what it means is that if we can do this the way we want to do it, it would mean that everybody would have a state-of-the-art iPad Pro with keyboards, with the magic pencil thing, that would connect everybody. And I mean everybody. So there aren't some who can't afford this or can't afford that. Everybody would have this. That's where we're going. That's what we want to do, and that has to do with a basic theme that we've talked about for some time here, which is the idea of Zion. Zion is a place where the pure in heart people live. It's a place where there are no poor. And everybody has opportunity. And everybody has friends. That's what we're about here. Now, let me come back to Dr. King. I wish everybody could read this book. This is called Strength to Love. This is a book that's published in 1963. These are essentially speeches that Dr. King gave published in 1963. It crystallized the opinion of the jurists at the Nobel Peace Prize Committee. In 1964, Dr. King was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace. Now, you know what you hear from political and social activist leaders today. You know how often the name of the Savior is mentioned, for example. Let me share very briefly, because I want you to know who this man is. I want you to know what he thought about. Let me read you a few statements from Dr. King. These are from this book and from his Nobel Prize acceptance speech. Okay, listen to this. You could hear these things in General Conference. Civilization, or you could also hear it in Dr. McDonald's history class. Okay, civilization and violence are antithetical concepts. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will discover a way to live together in peace, a method that rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. Have you heard about aggression and revenge and retaliation lately? The foundation of such a method is love. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. This is in the Nobel Prize acceptance speech. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. This is why the good and the right, temporarily defeated, are stronger than evil, temporarily triumphant. I believe that what self-centered men have torn down, charity-centered men can build up. And listen to this. And I believe that one day mankind will bow together before the altar of God, and the lion and the lamb shall lie down together, and every man and woman shall sit together under their own vine and fig tree, and none shall be afraid. Jesus is eternally right. Jesus is eternally right. History is replete with the bleached bones of nations that refuse to listen to him. May we in this century, and this is 50 years ago, it's almost 60, more than 60. May we in this century hear and follow his words. May we realize that we shall never be true sons and daughters of our Heavenly Father until we love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us. It's Dr. Martin Luther King. This is a great man. And we would do well to think about him now. So as we go through this month and we hear all the things that we'll hear and all the chatter and all the contention, and we witness all the violence and the revenge and the hatred that's going on all over the world, in many cases in the false name of religion. Remember Dr. King, and take the opportunity to learn what he said and what he did. So, to remind us of our central purpose here, the reason this school was established, it's a great place where there is a feeling of family. It's a great place where there is personalized education. It's a great place where there are friends, where there are good people. There's a reason for all this. And the reason for all this is because the center of the mission and the purpose of this school is Zion. It's about the principles of the restored gospel of Jesus Christ. It's about love and learning and light. Now, those are sort of the 3 L's for us. Love is about charity. It's what Dr. King is talking about here. Light is the Spirit of God, and that's real. And light is, that is the power behind both spiritual and physical energy. That's real, and they ultimately are the same thing. And learning in the Lord's way is learning by study and by faith. That's why we're here. That's why we have a family feeling here. That's why we have faculty and students who care about each other. That's why we're building Zion. That's what we need to do. And the person who reminded us about that in September was Elder Rasband. So what I'd like to do, just to finish this up today, a couple of months ago, we showed a little excerpt of a few of the highlights from Elder Rasband's talk in September. This is a little bit of a different version that has a few other different clips in it, but the message is the same. It's important that we remember this. And some of you have not ever seen it. But it's important to remember this. This is an apostle of the Lord speaking, and he's talking about this place and about us. You matter. You're in an important place. President Monson likes to say that the great gates of history turn on very small hinges. This is one of those small hinges. Great things will come from what's happening here. We haven't begun to see what will happen because of what you're all doing here now. So I'd like to conclude by letting you know that I know that God is real. I know that he cares about you, and he knows your name, and I know that he cares about what happens here. We're doing a good thing together. And this man that we're going to watch for these last couple of minutes is a true apostle of the Lord. And thank you all for being our friends. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.